For 2013, the cost of that congestion was $9.2 billion. That equates to about 141 million hours of lost productivity. And that translates into about 51,000 drivers sitting idle for a working year. Now, you hear us all the time talking about not being able to find enough drivers because we have more freight right now than we have drivers. So there's what's called a driver shortage, and in the coming years it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. In fact, the last estimate I saw is that we're going to need about just under 100,000 drivers annually for the next 10 years to keep up and try to make a dent in that shortage. So the cost of congestion, I mean, that could take half of that off the table pretty quick if we were able to keep our system in a flowing manner.
Freight is always changing. It doesn't stay static. There are some trends that we've identified through the course of the transportation freight plan, and what you'll see, they're changing because why? People move. People are aging. We hear a lot about the baby boomers. We hear a lot about the millennials. They're changing the way they want transportation. They're changing where they live. They're getting goods by e-commerce. Big boomer in the last few years. Something like a third to a half of products just at Christmas were ordered by e-commerce. They're either being delivered to our doors, they're being delivered to brick and mortar stores where we had them before, and in some places I saw yesterday in like New York and some of the larger cities, Amazon's actually putting up lockers at places like Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's and places like that for people who aren't home all day but want these products delivered to them. They can go there to a convenient place and have a locker to pick them up so they don't get left on their doorsteps.
Unlike other forms of transportation, we do finance almost entirely our own infrastructure. Basically, 90% of our infrastructure is paid for by the railroad, which brings me to my next point. I mean, we have roughly the same amount of right-of-way that we have to care for as MoDOT does. Our capital budget for 2014 was $5 billion. This year, it's going to be $6 billion. So, to put that in perspective, the numbers vary, but we have about 1,700 miles of track in Missouri just in the last, we'll count 2015. So really, from 2013 through this year, we will have spent $500 million to maintain our track just in Missouri.
The U.S. and Mexico came to an agreement about 4 years ago that said that they would look at a better way to become trade partners and a more efficient way. And one of those is to be able to put Mexican customs in the U.S. to clear cargo here that's headed southbound for Mexico. So they approved both a land border and they approved both an air border for trials. So the land border opened last year. That's in Laredo, Texas, very close, obviously, to the Mexican border. But that's opened as a land where where Mexican and U.S. customs both sit in the same building and clear freight both inbound and outbound to Mexico. We've applied to be the pilot market for the dual customs air facility, and we think we'll get it. We've been working on it for the better part of 2 years. We think we're down to where hopefully this March a decision will be made, and we will be the recipient of that, and we could open the facility in June or July, depending on when we're able to get the Mexican customs up here.
Accelerated bridge construction improves the total delivery time of the construction, and it also improves work zone safety. Another thing it does is ABC reduces traffic impacts. As we heard today, this is significant. It reduces on-site construction time. It also can reduce weather-related delays to projects, because if they get built faster, you can negate some of that problem with weather.
You want to have good performance concrete, it can have certain flow characteristics that we can control it. And also we want to have certain sustainable pavement constructions using different type of method of construction, different type of materials. And also we want to have some novel fiber reinforcement concrete for repair, rehabilitation, and also construction of transportation structures.
The challenge and opportunity is all these different areas were built just as standalone systems. I kind of like to think of this as your smartphone nowadays. Before, you had to carry a camera along with you. You had to have your calendar with you. You had all about 6 or 7 different things, but now they're all in one packet. So that's what we're trying to do here, is get all the different types of infrastructure under one roof.